Hey, what's up, metal and heavy music fans? It's Flight of Icarus again with MetalTrenches.com, and today we're talking about UK extreme metal band ANAAL NATHRAKH and their 11th album, Endarkenment, via Metal Blade Records. And hey, if you like to be kept up to date with the best and brightest metal bands and albums from the underground and above, then stick with me by hitting that subscribe button down below. Now, I wasn't sure what to expect from this one, as it comes right at the heels of both my favorite album from the band, The Whole of the Law, and my least favorite album, A New Kind of Horror. Ultimately, Endarkenment falls somewhere in between and is a bit of a mixed bag that, while containing some standout moments, leaves me yearning for their previous outings. It has a major case of, oh man, this reminds me of why I'd rather be listening to fill in the blank. States vocalist Dave Hunt, I think in terms of feel, it's brighter, more open, and direct maybe than we've been in the past. Obviously, I don't mean it's happy-go-lucky sounding or suggestive of a sunny disposition. I mean something more like it burns with light rather than glowers with darkness. It's coruscating. I can hear that sentiment throughout this album, it just doesn't always make for the most thrilling material, in my opinion. Starting with the good, Endarkenment kicks off on a solid enough note with the title track. I wasn't particularly wowed by this song when it first came out and I did a reaction, but it is a very aggressive one that definitely grew on me over time. I really enjoy the little syncopated guitar and drum breaks that get me banging my head every time.
Fuck you if you think I am wrong.
And also the operatic chorus is undoubtedly catchy. Great harmonized guitar tremolos give it a pretty epic feel. Thus Always to Tyrants is another one of the more aggro songs on the album, and one of the few that really left an impact with its groovy, almost djenty core guitar hook. And plenty of those trademark ANAAL NATHRAKH blackened snarls on this one too. Absolutely demented stuff that sounds like the stark ravings of a madman in a straitjacket. Libidinous was another standout with these subtle symphonic and choral elements backing the kind of Dimmu Borgir-esque songwriting. I kind of wish the synth elements were louder on this one, but I really enjoy how hard this one hits and the juxtaposition of its moody guitar melodies on the chorus with the more vicious moments. I also enjoy Feeding the Death Machine, but it's an interesting choice in some ways. Every time I listened to it, I couldn't shake this feeling that I had heard another band that sounds remarkably similar in terms of the recurring guitar tremolo that more or less defines this one. And ultimately, I couldn't help but chuckle when it finally came to me. Bleeding Through. This is a case of once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Go listen to some of Bleeding Through's later material and then listen to this particular riff. There's really no denying it, which is funny given that I'd otherwise never consider associating these two bands in any other way. In any case, the chorus on this one is also pretty sick and nothing like what Brandon Schiapati would do. Turning to the negative, there are some chintzy and even corny at times choruses like The Age of Starlight and Create Art Though the World May Perish. They're not terrible and they're catchy in their own way, but these even more or less play out in a very similar manner and structure, and as a result feel somewhat interchangeable. Other tracks still rank high on the intensity side of things, but have little to make them stand out, resulting in generic sounding moments. Beyond Words definitely comes to mind on this front. Listening, I just can't shake the overall thought of, I feel like I should enjoy this more than I am. It feels very kind of try-hard in a way. Yeah, overall, this album is just lacking the same level of atmosphere with the samples and synth that made The Whole of the Law such an amazing album. And the songwriting and riffs just aren't as memorable. That album was just a start to finish masterpiece of aggression and atmosphere that covers an incredible spectrum of feeling in such a powerful way. Each song felt unique, and there were so many moments to stick with you, from S-tier songs like Depravity Favors the Bold, We Will Fucking Kill You, and Extravaganza. And it too had plenty of melodic moments that were just done way more effectively than I feel like anything is done here. I don't want ANAAL NATHRAKH to do the same album twice, but this still just feels like a significant drop in overall intrigue and quality. Even so, it's better than the previous album and a lot of other stuff that you can find out there. It just doesn't stack up to my favorite picks this year. In the end, I give it an 8 for enjoyability, an 8 for musicianship, and a 7 for innovation. So overall, C+ for ANAAL NATHRAKH's Endarkenment. Not a terrible grade by any means, and to match, not a terrible album. It just doesn't really stand up, but I know as soon as I drop below a B in rating any sort of album, the fanboys come out of the woodwork and they are out for my blood, and you're welcome to it, I guess, because I'm not going to change my opinion. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Where do you disagree? Where do you agree? Maybe we can have a conversation about this. To me, our differing opinions on these albums is what makes music so damn interesting. And hey, stick around because I got plenty more full reviews coming right after this one, but also tier lists, interviews with bands on the podcast, Bandcamp exploration, you name it, we've got it. Lots of reasons to subscribe, again, if you have not already. Also in the description, you can find links to our social media, the email newsletter, and our Patreon and Subscribe Star if you want to give even just $1 a month and become a supporter. Gives you early access to content, and it really helps me keep this train rolling. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.